I finished Scorn this morning. The entire game took me 4 hours and 17 minutes to finish, apparently. For a game that lasts for £35, or 45 quid physically, is quite a steep ask for such a short game, with absolutely zero replay value. But crucially, even if this game was entirely free, I still wouldn't recommend playing it, because it doesn't respect you or your time in any way, shape, or form. It isn't interesting, it isn't fun. I actually enjoyed the first hour of it quite a bit. In the first hour, it's more of a walking sim, in that you explore a spooky alien environment like this one, and you solve some puzzles, and you move some eggs around, and you hatch them to get through doors, and you figure out how this universe kind of works. And then it gives you the worst melee weapon I've ever used in the game, which is this one, because it has ammo that recharges very quickly, but it means you can only attack twice in quick succession before you then have a long cooldown of several seconds before you can attack again. And the standard enemy you fight in this game takes 5 hits to kill. Here's one now. So when you start out and you have a melee weapon, you're up against these guys, you can hit them twice. And then you gotta back off and do a little dance because they've got range attacks. Oh, and they can also snipe you from, quite some distance away. But if you're using your melee weapon, well, that's what you gotta do. Gotta just dodge and weave. And you'll inevitably take damage. Because there's just so many unavoidable hits. Now you do eventually get a handgun, which makes things better, because you can wait for several seconds to be able to hit things from a distance. And it's more effective. However, ammo is so rare and hard to come by, you're still better off switching to your melee weapon to deal with things like these little guys, because they only take 2 hits to kill. You'll notice that I took a lot of damage during that encounter. I mean, I was trying to show off the combat more so than just use up my ammo, but that's fair enough. And health is incredibly hard to come by. I currently have 4 health pips on this save. It's about maybe 2 hours into the game, and you can heal yourself for 2 health bars at a time with those pips. There was not one occasion in this game where I had more than 4 of those health pips to be able to use. Combat is frequent, it is unfun, it is demanding on your resources, which you have very little of, and it just feels like you're being punished for playing the game regularly. Like, before you get the handgun and all you have is that melee weapon, is the worst combat I've played in the game this year. Absolutely, hands down. There's no difficulty settings, so if you have trouble with the combat and you can't get past an encounter, well, tough, that's it. Your Scorn experience is done. There are several boss fights that are just woefully, dreadfully slow to get through because you have to wait for ages to be able to attack them back. There's only four enemy types in the game. There's the 2 little guys you just fought there. There's a bigger one that charges at you, which takes an entire clip of handgun ammo to put down, so God help you if you only have 5 bullets left, because you'll have to use your melee weapon to finish it, and it'll kill you. There's a tentacle thing that hangs from the ceiling and spits acid at you, which you can't melee, so if you haven't got any bullets, well, you're not getting past that. Not without taking hits. And the boss critter. Like, it just feels bad whenever you have to fight things. I cannot stress enough just how unfun this combat system is. Bad guys will sometimes just disappear into the environment and then respawn behind you when you turn your back. Enemies will straight up spawn out of nowhere behind you. I have a clip on my channel about the amazing combat system in Scorn where I got killed because an enemy spawned behind me, trapped me between it and another one, and I got stun locked to death. At which point then the game loaded the checkpoint of me being stun locked to death before then putting me back several minutes further back and losing a chunk of progress. It's a real shame because the vibe and atmosphere are great. Like, the world design is beautiful, which is not a word you normally use for, Geiger-esque stuff, but, there's some really lovely Art Deco stuff in here, and there's nice vistas, and there's lots of cool statues and murals and plinths and stuff, and it's all lovingly crafted and put together. And honestly, if they had just taken the combat out and had more game of that, of just exploring a dying world and piecing together the story and solving puzzles, that would have been fine. Like, I was fortunate that I did not spend any of my own money on this game. Thanks to Forkboy Gaming, he supplied me with a code to be able to get a hold of this game. And if not for that, I probably wouldn't have played it. But I really can't recommend you spend any money on this game. It is just not great in any way, shape, or form to actually experience. Like, watching someone else play it will get you the gist of it for sure. If it ever goes free on PlayStation Plus, or if it's on Game Pass, or on the Epic Game Store or whatnot, I would recommend trying it just to experience that first hour. And then as soon as you pick up this horrible melee weapon that just goes thunk, just turn it off there and be like, yeah, that was Scorn. That's the best way to experience this game, is to not play it past the point where it gives you a weapon. Yeah, Scorn. I got the platinum for it because we basically just have to beat the game and then like replay the start of the game a tiny bit. And I am never going to play Scorn again in my entire life. You literally couldn't pay me to. Thanks for watching.